In this example, we're going to round decimals using place value. So this information is on your packet, but let's just review it quickly. So to round a number using the place value method, we're going to locate the place value in which you are told to round, determine the digit one place value to the right of this place value. If this number that you found here is 0 through 4, you drop all the digits to the right of the place value you are rounding. That's all you do. That's called rounding down. If the digit from what you found here is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you're going to add 1 to the place value in which you are rounding and drop all the digits to the right of the place value you are rounding. Okay, so this sounds like a lot, but it's actually pretty simple. We're going to start by using a place value chart, and you can always label your numbers with place values until you're ready to go without it. So put the numbers in the place value chart and use the chart as an aid to round the numbers to the indicated place value. So the first number is 3.24, so that's 3 ones, 2 tenths, and 4 hundredths. And we're asked to round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so now this is the tenths place. So when I write my answer, when I round to the nearest tenths place, okay, this is, whatever digit is here is the last one I'm going to write. You're not going to write anything after. The only question we have is, are we going to keep this a 2 or are we going to add 1 to it? Keeping this a 2 is rounding down, and adding 1 to this is rounding up. Well, notice the digit to the right, 4, is less than 5. So you could think of this in terms of the pictures we saw before. This is less than halfway on its way to 3.3. It's closer to 3.2. So we're going to round down. So we drop this number, and we don't need to add 1 to this because this number was less than 5. So we have 3.2. Let's look at the next one. 23.56. So tens place, ones place, there's the decimal, 5 and 6. And we're asked to round to the nearest whole number. So let's highlight the whole number place. So remember, when we say round to the nearest whole number, that means round to the nearest ones place. So our final answer is going to have 2 digits, a tens place value and a ones place value. We need to determine, do we keep this a 3 or do we add 1 to it and make it a 4? And we determine that by looking at the number to the right. So this is 23. It has 5 tenths and a little bit more. But since it has 5 tenths, that means it's more than halfway between 23 and 24. So it's closer to 24. So since this is 5, we're going to add 1 to this number, and we drop the rest. Okay, so we always drop the rest after our place value. So this is 24. Let's look at the next one. 0.073. We want to round this to the nearest hundredth. So let's highlight the hundredths place. Okay. So when we find our number, this whatever digit we have here will be the last number. Do we want to keep it a 7 or add 1 to it and make it an 8? Well, the number to the right is 3. That's less than 5. So we're going to round down and just drop this number and not change this at all. So we have 0.07. 2 more. So we have 5.043. And we're going to round this to the nearest tenths place. So let's highlight the tenths place. It's right here. Okay. So this is the last digit we're going to write. Okay. Looking to the right of this digit, the number is 4. So we're not going to round up, we're going to round down because this number is less than 5. So we don't add 1 to this, and we're just going to drop these numbers. Okay. And we're going to write this as 5.0. You can also write this as 5. So sometimes, when there's a 0 here, typically we wouldn't write a 0 in the tens place when there's nothing to the right of it. But sometimes we do, just so we can indicate This is our way of showing that it's rounded to the nearest tens place. It is absolutely equal and equivalent to 5, and you can do either that you'd like, but you'll probably see in some of your science classes later on that you would probably keep this as 5.0 to indicate that's the nearest tens place. Now finally, 22.296. We want to round this to the nearest hundredth. So let's highlight the hundredths place. So are we going to keep this a 9 or add 1 to it? Well, looking at the number to the right, this is 6, so we're going to add 1 to it. But now you may see what's going to happen here. If we add 1 to 9, well, that's 10, and we don't put 2 digits in a place value. So you could think of this is between 2, 9, and 3, 0. Okay, so adding 1 to 29 would give you 30, and it's in the tenths and hundredths place, but it has the same effect. So we'd add 1 here. That would make this 10. Okay, we're going to drop that. But that means we have to carry the 1 into this place. So this is going to be a 3, and this is going to be a 0. Okay, so notice we rounded to the nearest hundredths place, but actually our last non-zero digit will be in the tens place, and that's okay. That can happen sometimes. So we have 22.30, or you can write 22.3.